On this episode of DC On Screen, we're reviewing Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, right after this.
You think of Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe,
but a multiverse.
Where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next.
Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Welcome into DC On Screen episode 515. I'm your host, David C. Robertson. Before we get into the show, I'd like to take a minute to invite you to come over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/DC On Screen podcast. And also, we tweet at DC On Screen. So come hang out with us, throw us your opinions, we'll get into a conversation with you. I know that's a real gem of a thing. Just clutching your pearls, waiting for us to give you a much needed pat on the back. Sorry, I'm a dick. And if you weren't put off too much by that, I'd like to remind you to go over to iTunes. If you like us, give us a good rating and review. It really does help to get new listeners, as does, sharing us over on the social medias. Because when you like and comment, and especially share, it sends a signal to the algorithms, and that puts our show out in front of more hungry eye holes. So yeah. Alright, enough shameless plugging. This week is a little weird. News was a bit slow this week, and we decided to put our unheard review of Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, into the feed, pull it out of the vault, bring it to you. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and start desperately fingering the side of your headset for the appropriate button to pause this puppy so you can go watch the movie. You can rent it on Amazon Prime for $3.99 in HD, or if you're a DC Universe subscriber, you can go watch it for free right now. Then come back and listen to the spoiler-filled review of Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, starring Michael B. Jordan, Nathan Fillion, Carrie Elway, Ron Perlman, Dana Delaney, Kevin Conroy, Sam Daly, and so many more. It's directed by the great Jay Oliva. Enjoy. Hey, Dave here, sitting here with Jason.
Hello.
And we've seen we've now watched the Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, 2 times, I guess. I saw it. I think you saw it years ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I saw it years ago, and then we just recently watched it again because we kind of want to go back and talk about some of these animated films leading up to some of the new ones, and kind of get caught up a little bit as we can. And this was a pretty good one.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a little put off though, because now they're doing the big 2-part movies, and if any movie deserved a 2-part, I think this was one of them.
I could see that. I also kind of felt like this movie was a 2-parter though, in the sense that like 50% of the movie feels like a setup, and the other 50% feels like a climax. Mm-hmm. Which is something you don't get to enjoy in a normal kind of theatrical or movie kind of setting, so I enjoyed it for this.
Yeah, I don't know that they could have done it any other way. Like, this movie the premise requires so much setup.
Right.
Like, because, a part of me wants to, there are a lot of things in this movie that are broken, and it's still incredibly entertaining, and I really enjoy it. I watched it with my wife here a couple weeks ago, and she was surprised with how much she liked it. But there really is, like, part of me is like, okay, they set it up that Barry's hanging out at his mom's grave, so we know she's dead. Then he goes to, he's got the Flash Museum alert, Captain Cold, Boomerang, Heatwave, Mirror Master, and the top are all in the Flash Museum. And I felt like, just watching that segment, I'm like, this movie perfectly encapsulates why no one gave a shit about those villains until Jeff Johns came around. You know what I mean?
Mere pawns.
They're all just gimmicks.
Yeah.
But, I don't fault the movie necessarily for it, because all they are doing, the whole point is to One, have, Thawne at the center of that and behind the scenes of that, for him to, plant the seed in Barry's head about his mother. And then also to showcase the Justice League and how things are in the real continuity.
Yeah, where they work together wonderfully, and there's God, the little bit where like Superman is like waiting is the worst part, where he's like hand diffusing a bomb. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and then there's a bit where I'm like, as he's like sitting there, like I'm just casually point over to my wife watches all of the CW shows,
right.
So I just kind of point over and go, "That's Mick Rory," and she's like, "Oh," like, like you get no like real. I don't know. Like, I don't think at that point no one had ever really given Heatwave much of anything.
No.
So yeah, that was interesting to see, and I loved seeing the lead together. I hate the character design though. I hate how they all have really tiny eyes and like, I don't know, weird giant jaws, and they just look weird. They look weird.
I don't know.
Their necks are bigger than their arms.
Yeah. There's a lot of like tiny head syndrome going on, but other than that, I like parts of this character design era more than others. Like Barry in particular looks really good right now.
Yeah.
Hal looked pretty good. Batman, when we actually get back to Batman, looked pretty fantastic. Cyborg looks way out of proportion. Superman, Superman looks weird both ways. Like one, Superman looks weird because he looks like he has a tiny head compared to the rest of his body. Mm-hmm. When he's Superman proper, and then when he's in the Paradox version, he's really creepy. Really creepy. Complete opposite.
See, I liked that. I thought that was okay, and maybe that's what they were doing.
It's good for that being creepy.
Yeah, maybe they were just trying to show like the extreme difference.
Yeah, if that's what they're going for, they did a fantastic job. But
I'm looking at Superman in this opening bit, and I'm just like, he looks like Christine Baranski on steroids, and then. I mean, talk about the good fight, but whatever. And then I don't know. He looks like Crispin Glover here at the end.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the character designs are on and off for me. Like, sometimes I think this is a great era. Sometimes I think, well, that's kind of weird. Yeah,
I think Aquaman was pretty weird, and maybe they went a little too anime with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I can see that.
Anyway. Those are quibbles. It was still a fantastic movie, I thought. It was really a lot of fun. It was directed by Jay Oliva, written by Jim Krieg, based on Jeff Johns and Andy Kubert's Flashpoint Paradox. I do have... I feel like I'm just being really negative, but, I didn't care for, like, the glossing over Barry going back in time. Like, he just... Because even the second time, I'm sitting there like, I know what happened, but I'm like, I didn't remember it being so, I don't know. I didn't remember it being so, I don't even know the word I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm not sure either.
I didn't remember it being so vague. Like, I didn't remember them just being like, well, he wakes up and then, like, everything is radically changed and he doesn't know why. And he doesn't remember going back in time and saving his mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't really even, you see him running fast and Thawne's talking in his mind. And then he like wakes up and he's like, goes to work and everything's changed. And he's like, what happened?
Yeah.
That bothered me a little bit.
I mean, I get it, but there's a huge payoff at the end of this where it is just, Eobard beating the crap out of him. Mm-hmm. And like the iconic line is like, that's the beauty of all this. I didn't do anything. You did.
Yeah.
It's one of the best lines in the book and one of the best lines in the Flash universe. I think it pays off no matter how you do it. Even if you knew more before, or even if it was just kept under its vest like it did here, like it did.
Yeah.
I think it pays off hugely there.
You have a point. You have a good point. I want to reiterate, I did enjoy this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Past that point, like pretty much most of my negative feelings are just that, like, they'll introduce little bits and pieces, like Ron Perlman's Deathstroke or whatever, and
right.
A little bit of just a little, like a sliver of Hal Jordan, just a sliver of Martha Wayne as the Joker, just
a moment
a sliver.
Of Nathan Fillion.
What's that?
A moment of Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, just there are all these like little bitty factions of things that I'm like, oh, I wish we had more time with that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish we had more of, Lois Lane and Steve Trevor running around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's such a cool concept. It really is. I could have dealt with an entire episode, I wish they would do like Flashpoint, like miniseries or something. Like just give us little vignettes. I want to see, Martha Wayne as the Joker. Like I want just nothing but that.
Yeah. I like that movie alone. And the storyline kind of gets abandoned in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
You never really get to see a showdown between like Thomas and Martha, but man, the potential's there. And I don't know if you'd want to do like a prequel or something, but there's plenty of room for that in the animated universe.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I would want to see. I mean, in as much as I never want to see, in a lot of ways, I don't ever want to see an end to Batman and Joker's thing. I don't think I need a Thomas and Martha ending. I just love the concept and what it does to them.
Yeah.
I guess I got that here, but I could have done with more. Definitely. I enjoyed Cyborg's story here. It's kind of funny to see Michael B. Jordan doing something where he's not even the top name.
No.
And, there are all these people. Like,
yeah, they did a great job. But like later you look at the cast, oh shit, that was Michael B. Jordan. Shit.
Yeah, like when this came out, I was like, holy shit, they're doing more Kevin Conroy Batman. Kevin Conroy, right. And oh man, we got Sam. We got Sam coming in for his dad playing Superman. Look at that. Oh,
right.
Look at that. Oh man. And now I look back and go, hey, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
that's cool.
Way. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Right.
Who could have known? The guy, no name playing Cyborg here in Flashpoint Paradox is going to be freaking Killmonger.
Right.
Was he Killmonger? Or was that the other guy?
No, he was Killmonger.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the other guy's name? The other bad guy in that movie. What was his name in Black Panther?
What other guy?
Ulysses something. Claw. That was it.
Oh. Klaus, something other. The guy who didn't.
See why the
guy who didn't make it.
You guys see why this is a DC podcast. So anyway, I loved how much they packed into it though. And you're right, they do lose the story, just because of how much they have to cram in. They lose the story a bit in this movie, and but I loved how much they actually managed to pack in. Like I loved everything about like Arthur and Diana. Like I loved the flashbacks of like him cheating on Mara with Wonder Woman, and Mara coming in being like, "Oh no, we ain't doing that."
And then that not working out at all.
And
And then that not working out at all.
That didn't work out at all. And I kind of want there to be a little dialogue in there where like someone just says, you could have not had World War III and just not cheated on your wife, you asshole. If you loved her so much.
Well,
so much that you're going to cause World War III over Diana killing her.
That's just
maybe
not how the
put your
story
pee-pee in another
crumbled
hoo-ha,
here.
man.
Yeah. Different problems. For some reason, Barry's mom dying made Arthur make very ridiculous choices.
Well, he does say in the thing, he says, hey, look, I mean, this...
Yeah, it just nudged everything a little bit to the left,
Yeah, and that's like throughout all time, backwards and forwards, so...
Mm-hmm. And it does make I love the Flashpoint universe. Like, there's a lot of stuff I love about it. I mean, Cyborg being, the person who's like Cyborg and whatever he can muster versus Atlantis, and dear God, they're formidable when you watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Amazonians, and they're also super formidable when you watch them in this movie, in this version, or in the book. Like,
yeah,
it's a hell of a triad of people. It's a hell of a war.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the hell out of the fight sequences, by the way.
Yeah.
They were really impressive.
They're a lot of fun.
In particular, like, the little race through the streets of Reverse Flash and Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did the people that do the Flash show, were they watching that? Like, that feels like it was source material.
I thought about it too, though. Like
the over-the-top view, right?
I'm sure it's in the comics somewhere, but yeah, when they were doing the
Probably.
overhead view, I was just like, holy shit, they were doing it first.
The over-the-top view, like that seemed very particular. And then especially the way they would like run up a thing and bounce over to another building, like upside down and start running down or sideways down that thing. Like, that all felt very well articulated in the Flash actual TV show.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the crap out of the action sequences, man. I mean, dude, Deathstroke looked fantastic.
Yeah,
that was the
absolutely
scariest part about the Atlanteans is they just take out. Oh God, they take out everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You see them in action, it's ridiculous.
They just slaughtered Deathstroke and Luthor, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, that's the end of that. Okay, cool.
It's obscene. Even like Batman and or Thomas Wayne's Batman and Yo-Yo, that was a pretty damn good action sequence.
Oh, that was great. What was it? She slipped. I can't remember. He was just like, meh, whatever. She's dead now.
I just like the I don't know, he fires every round he has at her and starts throwing batarangs, and it just looks good. I mean, it just looks good.
I love the Batson, the Billy Batson and the Shazam kids. I like how they just all combine to make Captain Thunder. That's all cool.
That was one of my favorite parts of the movie in general, was some seriously brutal deaths.
Oh yeah, just blowing pieces of head out, you know?
Yeah. Like, Wonder Woman just puts Billy Batson down. Mm-hmm. As Billy Batson.
She certainly does. Yeah, she does.
The Grifter gets an arrow through the head.
Uh-huh.
Someone exposes Vic's heart.
It's fantastic.
It's rough.
It's fantastic. If you guys, spoilers, I guess, but if you haven't seen this for whatever reason, you're just like, oh, well, I like those DC on Screen cats. I'm going to listen to this review. Go watch the movie. I've bitched about it, but go watch it. It's good. It's really dark and really good. Don't let your kids watch it, probably. Or maybe do. I don't know. I'm not a judge. If you want to see Grifter's brains, you want your kids to see Grifter's brains flying out of his skull, well, do it. All right. So, Barry's got the reason he can't travel back through time and change things is because Zoom is using the Speed Force, so they've got to take him down.
All right.
But he does make it back to a version of his reality, I guess, because he gets back and his suit is different and things are a little bit weird because they're trying to do the New 52 type of thing. But he has a letter addressed from a dying Thomas Wayne Batman to his son, who he knows is Batman in the future. Not in the future, in the alternate timeline. Mm-hmm. How much do you love that scene? Just like the single teardrop falling, on the letter.
That's literally a tears every time I watch it kind of situation.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, just. By the way, I love the effect they did when the world is basically ending. When that reality is ending, it's just like a wall of white energy, like dissipating everything.
Oh yeah,
it makes no sense, but it's awesome looking.
I mean, it ended like a fission kind of sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Like the world's ending.
Yeah, it's just a little.
Like that's the same visual I remember from, Crisis kind of moments.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I accept it. Whatever. It doesn't make sense to me somehow.
Oh, this cracked me up, by the way. Barry gets back to his reality, right?
Uh-huh.
And immediately he wakes up and sees a screen that says, like, world faces budget Armageddon. And he just smiles at that. That should be a disappointing headline, but I guess things are about context.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But shit, all that stuff about, like, him and Batman, like, I still remember everything. I don't know what that was. Perhaps it was just a gift. Oh, God,
Yeah. Yeah.
And, by the way, it is directed by Jay Oliva.
Oliva, yeah.
Oliva. This is apparently what he's best at. Not mocking us with Snyder News. This is what he should be doing.
Uh-huh. Well, it is what he's doing. I mean, he did the storyboards for Batman v Superman. Like, he does the real movie storyboards. So, for years we always wondered, like, why aren't they doing what they're doing in the TV shows and the animated movies and stuff on the big... Well, they kind of are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things I love about the story is it still comes back to Superman. Like, Superman is still, like, the world is shit. Not even really because of Barry's mom. It is, in an overall sense, but it's really just shit because, they found Superman, and they locked him up in a little government prison.
Yeah.
Before he could ever become anything.
Yeah.
This is really just a second take on Justice League the Nail, which, if you haven't read it, you should be doing that. DC Universe, I bet they have it.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that, though.
Buy it. What's that?
I can get behind that. I can.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're done. You think we're done?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good movie overall. Go check it out. One day we'll get to Justice League War.
Of course.
And because this is a canned episode, current day Dave should be clicking in some point to tell you about the things and the places you should go to do the things, whatever. Social media bullshit. Love you guys. See you later.
Bye.
All right, that's it for us. Thanks for listening. Let us know how you liked this review and how you like Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. Again, if you want to hit us up, the best place is on Twitter at DC On Screen or our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/DC On Screen podcast. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen. Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David C. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Future Elevators, can be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Effie Oppelders of the fantastic podcast Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud. It can also be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We are proudly in partnership with TV Time, TV show calendar and social media site that lets you keep track of what you're watching, what your friends are watching, and where you all left off. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, an improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.
Are you